أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والكاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقدار العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. What is the message from the blind man sitting in the masjid after Salat al-Maghrib with his crutches next to him facing the east? What is the message from the blind man making Salat Maghrib, it was, in the Tijani Zawiya last night on New Year's Eve? And after his Salat, this blind man sat on his prayer rug with his crutches next to him facing the east in silence. He sat there until the Adhan for Isha. They helped him stand up, he prayed the Isha and he left. What is the message? Assalamu alaikum from Casablanca on January 1st. MashaAllah. Last night we prayed the Maghrib Salat in the Tijani Zawiya here in Casablanca, close to the African market. And after the Salat, two people came in. There was a man helping a man who was blind and on crutches. I was sitting there drinking Coke 45 in the mosque. And they stood the blind man up. He faced the east. He prayed his Maghrib, and I was watching. Allah says in the Holy Quran, I will show you signs on the horizons and signs inside of yourself until you know that I, Allah, am the truth. So I was watching this because for me this was a sign from Allah immediately. I was sitting there reciting Salat al-Fatih, astaghfirullah, I was not drinking Coke 45, in the masjid. And the man, after his Salat, he sat there facing the east in silence all the way until the Isha Salat. What was his message? I've been thinking about this since last night. The blind man's message sitting in the mosque facing the east in silence. The Sufis have a saying, in order to reach Allah, who is the one who is alone, you must sit alone with the alone. Ibn Arabi has a manuscript, a writing called Alone with the Alone. You can look for it, it'll blow your mind. Ibn Arabi has a writing called Alone with the Alone. This man was sitting in the masjid alone by himself, facing the east for about 2 hours. I would say with his eyes closed, but he's blind, so he couldn't see anyway. He was alone with the alone. He was silent. He wasn't speaking, and he wasn't observing. Look, he sat like this. But since I was behind him, I couldn't see if since I was sitting behind him, I couldn't see if he was reciting something. But my intuition tells me that he was reciting Quran or reciting prayers on the Prophet ﷺ in between the Maghrib Salat all the way up until the Isha. Alone with the alone. As we travel in this new year, all of us must find time to be alone with the alone. Find time, at least once a week, once a month, once a day if possible. My intention is to try to sit alone with the alone after Maghrib, facing the east, reciting my Salatul Fatih. This is my intention because it struck me. When you are alone with the alone, you are sitting with the one who is alone. Allah is the one is alone. Allah being alone is saying that Allah is the only being that exists in this universe. Ahad, Samad, the one alone, eternally existing as one. In order to draw close to the proximity of this divine being who is alone, sit in silence. Cut off the music, the radio, cut off the blind man. Blindness is saying he's not observing the universe. The message of the man being blind is saying that Allah had cut his sight from seeing anything outward. The closest place to meet Allah is your heart. This man was not looking at anything outward. When you are sitting alone with the alone, focus on Allah. Don't be on your cell phone. Don't look at anything outward. Try to look within yourself, within the crevices of your heart, where the divine light of Allah Jalaluhu is manifesting eternally. Sit alone with the alone is my advice in this year. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad al-Fatihi lima uglika wa khatimi lima sabaka nasir al-haqi bil-haq wal hadi ila siratika al-mustaqim wa ala alihi haqqa qadrihi wa miqdar al-azim. Assalamu alaikum. Alone with the alone. Sheikh Sufi sitting alone by the ocean in Casablanca. MashaAllah.